Let me tell you a quick story. Back when I was in high school, our teacher wanted us to write an essay, but because it was supposed to be a longer paper, he gave me us one whole month to finish it. I was a massive procrastinator back then, and I since the deadline was so far away, I did not even think about starting writing yet. Instead, I decided my time was better spent playing video game. Days spent. The deadline was coming closer and closer, but I hadn't write a single word. About 2 days before we had to turn in our essay, I realized that the deadline was so close that I might not be able to finish it in time. This is when I went into full-on panic mode. With only 2 days left, I started writing with pure focus. Finishing that paper becomes my number one priority and everything else becomes secondary. I did not think about video games or anything else. All of my focus was on that essay. Thankfully, in the end, I managed to finish and turn in my paper in time. And to top of it off, I also got a solid grade. Let me introduce you to the Perkinsn law. The law states this: work expand as so fill the time available for its completion. This might sound a bit confusing, but let me explain what it means. If someone gives you 1 week to move their lawn, it will take you a whole week to do it. If they give you 1 month, it will take 1 month, and if they give you 1 year, it good forbid it will take you one whole year. Essentially, the more time you have to complete something, the longer it will take you to finish it, and the less time you have to complete your goal, the more likely it is that you will complete in proper proposed time. But if a goal or a task does not have a specific deadline set, it will most likely never get done. Whenever we have something we want to complete, whether it is an essay for a school or moving the lawn for someone, we make the mistake of thinking that the more time we give ourselves to complete it, the better result will be. However, more often that not, most of that time is spent procrastinating, and only a small portion of it is spent on the thing we want to achieve. If someone gave you 1 month to mow the lawn, it would probably take you 29 days before you even began, simply because you know it could be completed in 1 day. So that 29 day of procrastinating, because you know you have more than enough time before you get started. The same thing happened with my high school essay. Most of the month was spent doing other things, and only a small portion of the time was spent on writing. If I was given a week instead of 1 month to write the same paper, I would have finished it in 1 week. You can think of a deadline as a fire. When the deadline is far away, the fire is small. It does not threaten your life yet. That is why you don't extinguish it right away, but instead you focus on other things. However, as the deadline gets closer, the fire gets bigger and bigger, and eventually happens is that the initial small fire has got so weak that your whole house might burn down, and now you obviously don't have a choice but extinguish it as fast as possible, so that because of your primary focus, when your house is burning down, you don't procrastinate and waste your time on unimportant things. You don't check email for 10 minutes, you don't have a quick scroll through Twitter or Instagram, nor do you think about playing video game. No, those things that usually make up a huge part of your procrastination become secondary and unimportant. Instead, extinguishing the fire becomes your number one priority. In other words, because your deadline is so close, or because the fire is so big, you prioritize your task much better. You cannot afford to procrastinate or get lost in unimportant details like most of the people tend to do. Instead, you are fully focused on that fire. The Parkinson law is important to be consciously about from the time management perspective. If you know something can be completed in a day, don't give yourself 2 days to finish it. You might think that giving yourself extra time will get you better result. However, as I have pointed out, most of the time is wasted on unimportant things, and in result of a sorted deadline is actually often time better because you are not distracted and you have greater focus. However, you should be reasonable with the time frame of the deadlines. If you know something will take a week to complete, don't set the deadline for tomorrow. This may sound obvious, but it's sometimes something people do when they first hear about the Parkinson's law. However, you can still try to push the limit of what is possible, and maybe you will find maybe you will find a shortcut along the way. Worst case scenario, if you get some work done but you need to give it a polish now, whether your deadline is too short or too far, it's still better than no deadline at all. Remember, if there is no deadline, your goal will probably never be achieved. So if you don't have a fire that is getting bigger, make sure you create one. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, press the red like button. Also, if you had like to help support this channel, there is a support page where you can buy me a coffee. The link is in the description. Even donation is used to create a better quality video for you guys, and it allows me to keep the content free. Thank you so much for the support. Also, make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell icon next to my channel name. It will notify you whenever I will post a new video that will make you better than yesterday.